and welcome to Voice of Generation X with Andrea Lambert and Alicia Pulver.
So today I have a main question for, I don't know how many other people think about this, but Andrea and I think about this a lot. So does IT complete your life or deplete your life?
Good question. Yeah, I'm running into a lot of sort of, the author community is really riled up about ChatGPT, understandably, because, well, ChatGPT and those AIs can write books and they can write poems that are technically correct.
That's like,
Personally,
okay,
I
so
didn't
for
think they
instance,
could
like I
replace the
use
humans.
ChatGPT as a paralegal to make
Hmm.
sure that I'm making like I'm dotting my I's and like crossing my T's because
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to do that legally. However, when you're an author, I don't think that you should be able to like let Chat GBT make your story. That's just my own
No.
opinion.
No, that's my opinion too. I think it's useful as a tool, but I haven't figured out how necessarily I would use it or need to use it.
But then again,
Mostly I just play
how
with it every
how
once
has
in a
the
while.
internet helped you out in life?
The internet, though, oh my God. The internet just like opened up whole new worlds to me of connection and being able to reach other people, being able to create media, which I'd always wanted to do.
I was
And still
actually
the 90s
inferring
and could have.
Casey.
Oh, yes. And I met my husband on a dating app. So.
Okay, so I always thought that this was like a fallacy, ladies and gentlemen, but like, so she met him and they fell head over heels for each other so quickly. And I was like, you know what? It's probably just a great couple week thing. But they're so in love, like they're probably going to be in it to win it, which is
That's what we want to
crazy.
do. We're both, later on in life, and so we're both like, let's just stay together and get old
So
together.
what would be your advice if you were going to be on a dating app to if you're actually looking for a partner for the long haul? What should they say? Like
I
what
would
should they
say make your intentions clear. Like that's one thing way in which me and my husband connected immediately is that he knew I was looking for a boyfriend, not just a casual thing, and he was looking for a girlfriend, not just a casual thing. And so, be honest, be clear.
Are there certain things you have to stay away from? Like for instance,
Ah,
okay, like for me, if someone didn't like my dog, I would
oh
not
God,
like
if
that.
they don't like cats, it's just like it's not going to work out.
So
They
is
can't even
there
be in my house for very long.
But do you really believe in the whole thing that like women should say men have to be a certain height and stuff like that?
I don't believe that, and I've had wonderful relationships with short men or shorter, because I'm 5'4", so like, pretty much anyone is taller than me. But
That's
he's
not
6 feet
anyone but
tall,
you.
and he says the women like it.
I mean, what is interesting about when Andrea fell, there's I'm going to give you the two-part stage that this is my interpretation. You interrupt whenever you need to.
Okay.
So she had had a horrible, horrible battle with COVID. Like it literally like took the life out of her. And so we finally got back in contact because my number changes like every other day. So anyway out of it. So I was like just to encourage her to like go meet people. So
Hmm.
she got her confidence back by just putting on her own makeup and hair. That's how I felt like.
Seriously, that
And
helped a lot. Really, just trying to get back into style and
because it
fashion and
wasn't
like
about like having
fixing
like a
myself up.
casual like
Because I
that's
was
not
just
what you
wearing like black caftans for like the entire time. I couldn't think about
I know.
fashion.
I was like, what the heck? Like, you're my little fashionista on this side. I'm like,
Yeah, my
what's
fashion just went
going
out the window
on?
because I was too sick. I was like, I want something simple, so I bought three identical black cotton caftans from Amazon and just wore them in rotation. Like,
So, like, what I would encourage anyone if they were in the place where you were being sick, because when you're
right,
sick for that
I
long,
was
it's
really
like,
sick. I was
like,
like walking with a cane if I
well,
walked for
also if you're
2 hours,
inside of your house for so long, it kind of
and I
makes
was
you,
alone.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
was
the
trying to
big
tell
thing.
her that. So what like remnants stuck with you to make you become so ballsy again? Because I was. I was not forcing her. I was encouraging her. I was like, you're gonna feel so much better if you just at least get to go out and meet people and like see that like you still have it. Because it's not about you being with another person initially. It's just knowing that you can walk down the block and have your little swagger on. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I'm a social human being, and I had forgotten that in that time of isolation. I spent 7 or 8 years in isolation in this house, and at first I was like, I have so much art I want to make and
Okay,
books I want to
okay.
write, but
First
then
and foremost, can
I
you tell
just,
the audience that sometimes that people are in isolation longer than you were?
yeah.
But for you, what made you, did it just like repress you, or did it make you just dissident from who you really were?
At first, it helped me. It nurtured me because I really needed to spend some time alone. I'd been kind of in like deep immersion with my family. So I needed to spend some time alone and just do some art and writing and, explore the different avenues that I'd already pursued to a certain extent. But I self-published a bunch of books. I got a publisher picked them up. And so I've
And
been
by the way, that's a big
handling
deal.
that.
And if you guys are wondering why my eyes keep going like this, I happen to get makeup in them, so let's not worry about that. So going on, so Andrea like had self-published quite a few books, which you're probably aware of. However, getting published by an international agency that thinks that you're the creme de la creme must
It was
feel
very
pretty good.
flattering. Yeah, I am very happy to be working with Rorschach. I have a book coming out very soon now. I just ordered the author copies called A Wife in Death and Life. That's about my real life experience with a lesbian relationship that was so wonderful and then went so wrong. So, it's coming out soon and I will be on here promoting it, of course. I already
Okay,
am.
so
But
by the way,
anyway.
I would love to hear feedback about what the next book that you come out with. So, like,
Oh my
I've got
goodness.
like three ideas on the top of my head
Oh,
dealing
what are
with the
they? I'm
internet and
curious.
whatnot. Okay, so for instance, you know how your words can be twisted, right?
Yeah, I
But if
see.
you have one solid friend or one solid, like, well, a solid friend and then also a solid, like, what you know who you are
Yeah,
that keeps
that's
you
one good thing about
grounded.
being my age is that I know who I am
Well,
and
it
what.
shouldn't always be about being your age because it's going to be all age groups, things
True,
affect people
true, true. It's
younger.
something to reach for as you're getting older
And like,
or
so
being
like,
young.
I want you to write a book because like, this is what makes me beautiful. Like, if it's putting on your
Like listing all
lipstick.
the cosmetics I use.
No, 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 no. It's because beauty is on the inside and out. And like when you hear positive comments and when you hear like, and when people like read your books and like also when you get to experience a lovely meal that somebody like invites you to, does that not make you feel beautiful inside and out?
It does. It does. And one of the things, I mean, that's one way to tie back to the IT thing that the internet made me realize because it introduced the visual element and it also introduced the communication element. So when I started
Hmm.
going on YouTube and putting out YouTube videos, which I
They
didn't really
will
do all
slaughter
the
you on
time,
YouTube.
they will. I
My
just turned
friend has a
ads off.
very prominent channel, and like
Mm.
literally, they banned them two times for videos that, by the way, it was because somebody else duplicated their videos. I thought that it was for something This is not the one that was salacious, it's different.
Oh, oh,
And
okay.
I'm like, so you've literally had a channel for so long, you pay so much money. And by the way, you
I-
can't sometimes teach an old dog new tricks, but it's
Yes.
hard to know like where do you go to for the next venue.
Yeah, I mean that's one reason why. Well, Riverside, I wasn't intending on keeping
Well,
it as
she's
a main
well,
structure, but
tell us about how you diversified yourself online.
okay, that's a good topic. Basically, I decided that to promote my books, I had to be known as an individual. So, I got really active on Twitter when Twitter was Twitter and before it went downhill. And for many years. I think I was on it for like 11 years, 10 years. I don't know. And then I was active on Facebook and I was putting out, I had two books that were put out by other international small presses that came out first when I came out
Oh,
of
so
grad school. So I
BTW,
was early
everyone. So
days.
Instagram and Facebook are owned
Oh
by
yeah,
Meta.
And
Well,
Instagram,
they're
where
the same
seriously it was
company.
just like pictures of, what
No,
it's,
but it's
it's
the
like
same
pictures of
company.
spaghetti.
It's Meta.
Yeah, same company, Meta. Yeah, Meta and Apple are basically like where I find a lot of happiness. I would
So
say
how is
IT
it
is
that
an
you
excellent career.
so you maneuvered your way from going from like the basics of
Mhm.
social media?
Yeah,
And
I got it.
were they
I found
asking you to pay
affluence.
money?
No, no. I mean, I was paying for the check mark. I just stopped that
So by the
subscription
way,
because I didn't
what would
want
be
to do
your
it.
advice for someone if they're like asking them to pay money?
My advice for you is be very careful about who you pay money to and for what. Make sure you're getting something that you feel like is worth it.
And
But
also you
it's
have
not
to
always the
you've
bad
got to
thing to do.
you've got
But
to vet the like who you're sending the money to because sometimes
right,
there's
right,
duplicates.
right. Because some people can be sketchy. And oh, by the way, I wanted to address this. I am a witch, but I'm not for hire. I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah, so
do
she just
magic for other
and by the
people.
way, it's no,
It's personal
it's
for
not
me.
that she's a witch in that kind of pattern that like you can burn her at the stake. She
Yeah,
has
please don't, please
no,
don't.
no, no. She's got spiritual like connections, but it's all positive.
Like I like to light candles and pray to my grandparents.
Like
This is my
literally
thing.
sometimes like she helps solve my problems by just reading some of my tarot cards that sometimes are applicable, sometimes they're not perfect. Because you know what? Nobody's perfect, but she has a different connection with the universe than everybody else does. But that doesn't mean you can go ahead and like say that she's a witch and she's for hire.
Yeah,
That's not so.
I'm not. It's not. I'm not
And
giving
then also
shenanigans.
the other
So,
thing is that we are never trying to talk about politics. We're trying to talk about our experience in the world and give like if we could I don't even we should actually do it like if I could do it over again, but don't know if I would want to do it over again. Like for
I don't
instance,
know. Yeah, would
I mean,
some parts of
Andrea
my
has
life are
gotten to
so
see
awful. I
me
don't want
like
to.
I've done like now 23 years of modeling
Hmm.
and I've gone through some of the worst health issues of my life, and I'm not willing to like give that up to the world right now. But she's stayed so calm and humble and has been able to understand me and just like make us laugh because I don't want to talk about like sometimes I'm like, can we just like listen to music and chill? Like, and by the way, she always has the right thing to say.
Thanks.
She
Well,
always does. Like,
yeah.
and you have. She comes from like she's got such a strong fighter spirit. So if you've got a friend like that, that's a fighter with you. And by the way, please, right now we're still doing with rare disease. It's over at the Capitol right now, so we're passing new bills every day, and we want to make sure that our medications still come through. And we also want to make sure that we get trial treatments for people that need them. So if you could go ahead and go on the NAMI website and or the rare disease website or even just type in anything that's like what's in the lobby right now at Washington DC, you're going to see like a billion of them. So I'm sure you'll relate to one, like even if it's like you're a stepdaughter of someone who one time had an eating disorder or something to that accord, like
Yeah,
because
there's a lot health wise that can
and
happen.
the thing is that like medications are becoming more sparse and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I can actually you can ask me about what I saw in my Cedar Sinai link yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I am curious about that. Why don't you tell us about that?
Okay, so I'm not going to talk about my news. So it all of a sudden gave me this big thing that there's major fraud going on online.
Yeah.
And like I'll send you all of like the screenshots of it so you can see it and you can post it. And it's like and then there's a whole other article all the ways you can avoid it and like who's a target. So it's like basically we're a target because we're a female, we don't have a
Yeah, we're
child and we're
female.
disabled. And I'm like,
I mean,
okay.
you're more in the public eye than I am, but like, yeah,
Well, I
to a
try to
certain
do
extent.
as least possible in the public eye now.
Yeah, yeah.
So by the way, I found out that like people kind of figured out that I always wear like a black hoodie and all black on black on black. So I'm like, so what should I do? Do like bright yellow or
Yeah,
something?
I mean, like, what's wrong with that? You know, I
I
mean,
mean, I mean, and that's
tell me
just
you're being a
that's.
little goth or
When have
something.
you ever seen me not wearing black? Basically, like
I
sometimes I have
feel like
like
black
light
is like
pink.
the fashionable color that's like
Well, I
really
mean, that was kind of
recognizable.
that was our wardrobe back in the day. So it was like if
Right.
you have an H&M black dress, and if you've got leggings,
Yeah.
and also if you have like a small top, like it's just black on black on black because it's
It just
just the
always
base.
works. Right. Black always works.
Especially with the background, because you don't know. Well, we're not going into my thing. We're going back into IT. So IT has switched around a lot for us. Like even for us getting onto this phone call today, how difficult was it for you?
Well, it was a little harder because I'm doing this from my phone instead of my iPad, but that it just took a little bit of adjustment. We had to work through it, keep trying to connect, and then finally we connected, and so
And
it's just
so,
a
by
matter.
the
It's a
way, like
learning curve. It
what I
really
want
is.
to tell everyone out there is like if you have a glitch, don't go for the worst case scenario.
Right.
Okay?
I figured we just had to keep trying. Just stay calm,
So
keep trying.
she's got like a stable like she's like, you know what, it's gonna be fine. Let's just turn our phones off, turn them on, da da da. We're gonna do fine. And she was
Yeah.
right because
That
it's
was such
very
a.
easy. Like when I was trying to get on with my doctors the other day,
Mhm.
it was insane because they couldn't get on with me. I was like, by the way, you guys know I have a house phone. The joke was forever that I have a house phone to find my cell phone because
Oh
I
yeah, but you can't do a video chat on yourself on your house phone. You would
no,
be
but now I'm actually a
horrible.
lot
I
into that
know.
category. So if you're not able to get on through your cell phone, if your network is bad, you have to talk with your doctors and or the care coordinators directly and let them know like BGW. I'm sorry. I know I use acronyms,
It's
but
okay.
I'm trying to make it
So
shorter
do the
than longer.
youngs.
Just make sure that you are very astute about saying I'm having issues with my cellular like so, okay, for instance, if you only have one tower and you can't actually talk to your doctors, then it just shuts off. So
Yeah.
just let them know that at the office, and then if you have a landline, which would be great, or if you have a more reliable friend's number that you can use their phone but be still within the HIPAA reliance, so you're in a privatized room, then you just need to let them know that. That doesn't mean it's the end of your healthcare.
No, it definitely doesn't. I mean, I actually, when I saw my new psychiatrist, she said, "Actually, we don't really like to do video chat, video visits. Can you come in?" And I said, "Well, my transportation is limited, but in case," he said, "No, I can drive you. I can drive you." And I said, "Oh, good. Okay, yes, I can come into
Well, she's a
appointments."
very fortunate person, but some of us out there, we don't
Exactly.
have that
Yeah,
availability.
I don't drive, but my husband
So,
does.
like, for instance, like I have my psychiatrist and my psychotherapist, correct? But
Uh-huh.
he's no, he just relocated because they had a new kid.
Mm.
So they're up north, they're in Sacramento now. But he's talks to me every week.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you're
he
really
knows
effective at doing
immediately if he can't get a hold of me on my cell phone, he's like, why did she not check in? He
that.
calls me on my house phone. I'm like, okay. But
Yeah, it's nice when you've been working with someone for a while and you just kind of know the rhythms of like how to reach
well, I
them.
mean, all of these
Works.
issues that happened, I didn't realize that I thought that I was being a burden on the doctors and the
Oh, no,
offices.
it's your
If I
job.
was talking about like my IT issues, I was like,
Oh, I
I was like,
see.
I can't log on. Like, I was like, okay, this is just gonna be obnoxious. So I got embarrassed. So I probably should have said it earlier than later.
Mm.
But when I finally like told them, I was like, by the way, so it was hilarious when he was like, I knew you had IT issues. And I was like, why did I not say that? It's just
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it happens. It happens. And especially as the technology keeps changing and evolving. It's like I hadn't used this software in a while. It's been a while since we did a video podcast. And I was like, oh wait, where's
okay,
the
so
record
Andrea,
button?
I'm gonna have a hard hitting question for you.
Yes. Okay, let's get serious.
So you've opened your life to be online,
This is true. I
and
did open
that's
a lot of
also
this.
opened you up for any kind of comments.
Yes, and that is why I have comments
That's not my
muted on
question.
my YouTube videos
Okay,
or
so
against each
so
chance.
per your mental health,
That's for my mental health
how
because I used to get
how
comments.
how destructive do you think some of the comments can be?
Oh, well, I mean, I made my first YouTube video, which I put a lot of work into, and was like way back in 2015. I made a documentary called A Schizoaffective in Her Natural Habitat. And it was a documentary about schizoaffective disorder. And I was kind of going back and forth between the clinical and then videos of me just doing things or demonstrating things. And it ended up being super popular, getting on all these playlists. And I was felt really proud of it, but
But
I
then
was
the
getting comments
haterade
that
that
were
you get, right?
brutal. People were like, "You're not mentally ill. You just need an exorcist." And I'm like,
Okay, so how
no,
would
really."
you, if you had like someone you were mentoring that wanted to
Mhm.
be doing a similar thing that you're doing, what
Okay.
would you say are ways to like, to at least protect yourself from negative commentators that can really get under your skin? Because
Right.
I
They
don't
can.
care,
It could did get under my skin. Yeah.
and because I don't care how many things that people can say that are not logical, it still
Mhm.
hurts.
It still hurts. It still hurts. And especially since I had them set up. So it went right to my phone and it gave me a notification as soon as anyone commented. And it was even like so many years later, I was still getting comments because the documentary got like 34,000 or some insane amount of views, and
Oh,
there
hi,
were still
Craft
people
Girl.
commenting. I mean, I'm proud of it, but I'm also kind of glad I turned the comments off, or maybe YouTube turned the comments off. I'm not sure exactly, but they knew, they were like, yeah, she.
So, but it's not just YouTube, it's pretty much every
It's not just
platform.
YouTube. It's like, I mean, Alicia, do we want to address some of the phone calls you've gotten? Like,
So I've been like addressed by like our podcast and they misinterpreted what we were saying, and in no way, shape, or form are we judging anyone and or going against anything and or encouraging any kind of negative behavior. If anything, we're just giving our own experiences and how we're healing through it.
yeah.
And that's it.
This is just
And
personal stories and interactions
and
and
also I don't think that it is really responsible if we're all adults here and we can sit in an adult room.
yes.
We are just having a discussion about we've lived a long life, very diverse between her and I. However, we can't solve everyone's problems.
Yeah.
We can, though, by the way, be there
Watch
for
it.
a an open ear, and because possibly we can pass this off to somebody that we know. However, at the same time, I don't have an MD. She doesn't have an MD.
Mhm.
So, like, we can't really do.
I would, yeah, I would really direct anyone with health problems, go to Western medicine. Don't ask me to heal you because I can't. I'm not that kind of witch. I'm not a healer, and I don't really.
And by the way,
I
we're
prove
not.
Western medicine
No,
works.
we're not directing this at anyone. So there's
No, we're
been,
just saying, you know.
and like for instance, okay, I think that people they probably think that about me because I have red hair. They're like, oh, she must be like spiritually inclined. It's
Maybe, like, because it's so rare. Yeah.
okay. Can I just tell you one of the most annoying things, which I've mentioned before, and I'm telling all y'all this, like just having like critical illnesses. It's when nurses say, "Are you sure you're still alive?" when they can't get blood out. And I'm like, "Is this actually a question?" I'm like, "Wait, I'm at the hospital. Like it's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard."
Yeah, it really is. It's like, are you trying to make conversation or are you
I
trying
mean,
to
it's
intimidate
funny
me?
the
Is it
first
supposed to
time you
be
hear
funny?
it.
The first time it might be funny, but
The
then, like,
first time
I could
it's
see it
like
getting really not funny.
and then it gets like okay, so like I get
Yeah,
that you're gonna have like a diversified amount of people that like to listen to this, but also with IT you need to really be in protection of what you're revealing about yourself.
completely. Yeah, that is very true. And especially since this has a certain power to reach a lot of people, because I realize now that YouTube basically is like a television station, and this is sort of like a talk
No,
show.
no, there's channels
Oh.
you can have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a channel, and I will be posting this
I
if
mean,
you.
I watch half the time YouTube like things that are no longer getting accepted by like, major like networks and stuff like that, like
Right. I
Vice.
watch a lot of other YouTube documentaries too that other people have made just out of love of the topic, and they're so interesting, you know?
I mean, I watch my TED Talks through it too. Like I watch
Yeah.
them all. So, I mean,
It's great.
when if it were you getting a new computer today and you were trying to launch your own business, what would you
Uh-huh.
do differently?
Business, I am not good at. I tried to launch
Well,
a
I mean,
storefront
launching
and
yourself
I
as a personality.
failed. But if you're launching a brand of yourself as a personality, that I do know a lot about. And I would
Okay.
say, first of all, figure out your look and figure
Okay, so
out
by the
what
way, can
niche
you
you
explain what
represent.
a look means?
By look, I mean, like for mine, I might say it's blue or white hair or red lipstick. It's like figure out what your sort of general look will be. And
Okay, so
then, but
she's
that's
trying to
not the first
describe.
most important
So
thing. But
she,
the
you're,
most important, oh, go ahead.
so no, so you're trying to describe like you want to have a certain kind of hairstyle, a kind of makeup, and a kind of like fashion,
It
correct?
doesn't have to be professionally done. It should come from your heart. Everything, in fact, everything you want to do to be unique and because a lot of people out there, but there's a lot of people who want to watch videos, and you can figure out what your general niche is, your look is, what you represent, who you stand for, and if you know that with
Oh,
who
and
you
by the way,
are,
when you say stand for,
that's yeah. Well,
so do you feel that there's an issue with people that are like falsifying their own beliefs between somebody else that's like a little bit more popular online?
mm, I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors
Okay, the way
about.
that I'm trying to say this is this.
Okay.
If you're not your most authentic self,
Right. Be your authentic self. That's most crucial. And maybe do some journaling about like what that is so you have a really clear picture.
so like if you're giving a quote and you're borrowing it from another YouTuber or something like that, then by the way, we'll get you flagged. Like there's all these kind of things that can happen, correct? You know so much about it. So when she launched
Yeah, I launched with that big documentary and I still like and then for years and years, especially up here in isolation, I made tons of YouTube videos, some of them kind of silly, some of them more serious, some of them just playing around with different things. Like I got those some of those Ray-Ban Meta glasses and was making
mm,
films with those.
yeah, no, those I still those are my favorite videos that you've
I
made.
love. Oh, you like this? Oh,
Yeah,
cool,
those are my
cool.
favorite ones. So, but
Mm.
also you learned to have a certain dialogue that you had.
Right. I learned how to talk to the camera. And this might come from being in punk bands when I was like 15. I don't know. I mean, it's a different skill than being on stage, but I think they're related to a certain extent. I can't see who all is watching this. When you're on a stage, you can see who's watching you, and that's intense. But I know that a lot of people can access this, and I'm not saying anything that I would not want the entire world to know.
Right, because
So I
there's
want it to be positive,
repercussions, right? If
uplifting, helpful
there's
message.
repercussions in not only writing literature,
Right.
yeah,
There are. There
and
are.
I would like to know your take on this.
Oh my
So,
God. That's true.
unless you're ready for the kickback, what can you face?
Well, let's see. When my first book came out, Jet Set Desolate, which you can still get on Amazon or on eBay, um, it came out in 2009. That book is very, I'm just gonna say, adult. It's, um,
It's really like NC-17.
It's yeah. I'd say like if you're not old enough to handle it, you really shouldn't be reading it, and you definitely should look at it as a guide to life. It's like what not to do, seriously. But like,
You gave your own story.
but it was my story, and it was a way for me to process all of those bad memories and really like curate them through. It went through that CalArts MFA writing program, so they helped me edit it down from like a 400-page document, which would have been a bit a bit much, but like.
Okay, so
Anyway, but the backlash I
I'm
got.
gonna put you back on track to this. So if you are
Yes.
going to do any kind of thing that is going to go on social media, we're talking YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, you name it. If you're gonna make a statement and you're trying to be right now, like what's it called? Uh, not a model, like an influencer or whatever the heck it's called, like a that people look up to. Like you're
Mm,
notable, What is
mm.
it called with you? Because you're an author and all this kind of stuff. What's your badge?
I get called. Facebook said I was a digital creator because I do
Oh no, that makes sense. Because
this
I mean, they
online
just.
stuff as well as writing.
I mean, for me, I just always put it down under model influencer, so
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
annoying. But
Honestly,
okay,
it's
so
different on.
I mean, there's different prerogatives they have for me, but I'm questioning per you. Like, do they want you to make sure that you're still to like your politics and like what you should say and what you shouldn't say to keep yourself safe? Or have you found yourself in a position to where there was so much freedom that if you have just to open your mouth that you it can put you into like heinous trouble?
Well, I've never gotten in heinous trouble, but the old intro to my YouTube station was a bit more
When I say heinous trouble, I
inflammatory and
mean
talked
being
about
I'm talking about bullying.
bullying. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost 50, so I'm kind of immune to bullying, but I'm just going to be like, no, don't
Yeah,
leave
but the
comment.
thing is that she handles it like with a grain of salt.
With a
But
grain of salt, because I've gotten this stuff before, and you realize you can just be hit by a barrage. Like those of you who use TikTok, which I know is a lot of people, and yeah, it's a great way to get your stuff out there, but it can also sometimes some of the comments are brutal, and
so maybe it's the best that like,
yeah, I don't
especially
know.
if you're hypersensitive, to not look at comments.
Yeah, I would say don't read the comments is the advice I've gotten in general, both for essays online, which I used to write, and also for, you know, video stuff. Don't read the comments.
And
I mean,
also only
unless
reveals
you're
so
really
much
thick
of,
skinned.
I mean, about also your personal life. How much would you reveal within your public life that you want out there?
Well, let's see. I'll talk about things like my relationship, like the emotions and the. I know we've talked about this a lot, but it's exciting and it's new and
Well,
so I
she's
talk
allowed
about
to be
that, but I'm
married
not
for
going to give
one
anyone my
year.
address or phone number, okay?
Once
No.
it's been a year anniversary, we don't get to celebrate her marriage that much, but she still gets to.
Yeah, it was our 6 month anniversary yesterday, so I'm
Okay,
really
so by the way, she's done a very, very nice thing to where she replaces names sometimes in books, remember?
oh
And
yeah, that's a good thing to do. You
that's a
should
good
do.
tactic. And then also, you speak about things in a broader spectrum and you make it more about you than you do about your situation. Because the last thing you want to do is end up in a legal suit and or being harassed and
I'm very glad I never got sued. Please don't sue me.
okay, so for instance,
So,
me and not
I feel almost by
Andrea.
mentioning it, it's invoking it. Like it's
No, no, no. So like, I'm
ridiculous
not like
stuff.
Andrea to where I have certain political views, and I realized really quick on that I should not say anything about my political views because it really got all. I don't know if it was bots. I don't know if they were people, but they were threatening, and it made me feel very,
That's very
very
scary.
insecure about it. So.
Yeah, of course. Because I mean,
So
both
it's like
sides.
you have to like dot your t or what dot your I's and cross your T's to where it's like just make sure that you stay in like a very safe space, especially if you're talking about something emotionally riveting.
Yes, staying in a safe space is crucial. Like, I would not suggest doing something like this if you're living in a place where the doors are always unlocked or you have. I mean, maybe if you have a room to
No,
yourself,
not even like
but
that. Just like you don't
you
know
need
what.
to make sure you're in a safe space. Is what I'm saying, and that you can keep yourself physically safe. Like, I'm a total homebody. I stay home all the time with the door locked and often the windows, the blinds pulled because the light here in Nevada is just.
And also, she's like very, very vocal with me. She's like, Lish, I need like 3 days just to like relax. And I get it, like, because she's put herself out there on the public spectrum. I, however, did quite the opposite. I thought that I was just going to be a hanger. No one wanted to know my name, nothing about me. And
You didn't think about all
then
the supermodels and all that. You didn't have those kind of
no,
ideas.
nobody wanted to work with Americans overseas at this point because they said that we got too fat, we used too much drugs, and we demanded too much money. And I was like, okay, this is in 2005 that they were saying that. I was like,
Those are
which by the way,
funny.
that's exactly what they said in every country. And I was like, okay, so I was like the only American. And they're like, you're not the funniest thing. Can I just sell you all so you can get like a little bit of a giggle? So there were two girls from Belarus. No, one from Belarus, one from Russia. And they said, you can't be American. You're not obese. And I was like, and they were convinced of this. They're like, if
Wow. I
like
mean, I know Americans have a kind of bad
no,
reputation
no, no. But this was like
in other
they
countries.
couldn't believe that I was American. They thought that I was like joking with them. They're like, "There's no way." They thought that we all looked like like we look all. By the way, it doesn't matter what your shape or size is in the
Yeah, we
first place.
shouldn't be size.
But we're talking about 2005.
Yeah,
So I mean,
2005 and models from Belarus are going to have a certain idea of
oh
what
yeah,
things look like.
they don't want to be
That's
friends with
also
me
true.
at
I
all.
just was,
Like.
yeah, but
And by the way, worst dance moves ever that I saw some of my friends. And yes, I will call you out still till this day, and you know who I'm talking about. Like
oh
if
my God.
but like the funny thing is that now we have the internet. And the internet now you can AI pretty much, which has gotten a little bit creepy. You
Yeah,
can
the AI is a little creepy. I mean, I know the software we use to record this podcast uses AI, but I don't always
so by the way, you
take
know about
advantage of
this, so
that.
you can do a Q and A with me. So you know how much I've had to deal with litigators with just like my identity theft and stuff like that online.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Jesus.
So, like, it started with 2017. I believe that I was first 100% aware that everything was taken over. And the FBI cybersecurity unit used to take care of me all the time. Then they've switched up their base. I've had to meet with the DA, and they're like, "Do you know who did this to you?" I'm like, if it can be from 7 different IP addresses in like multiple different countries,
Oh
no,
my
I
God.
really don't know. So, what would you do for the utmost cybersecurity? Because I know I did not do it the correct way.
I know there's various organizations that promise you cybersecurity watch and everything. One of them is LifeLock. I use that
I've
one.
heard really high notes about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been helpful. But sometimes it's so scary because I'm like, wait, what is this? I mean, I'm constantly monitoring all of my stuff just to make sure no one's going in there and
So,
doing
by the way,
anything.
one of the advices you would probably give people is like if you're going to put a post-it on your camera for your computer or whatnot,
Mhm.
when you're not there. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry to say this. I'm not trying to make anyone paranoid, and you're going to get us all calmed down after this. Um,
Okay.
you just have to make sure that you're. It's better to be smart than be sorry.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, don't be afraid to be careful and take necessary precautions. That's crucial in doing this sort of thing, which to me is not work because I'm not paid for it. So it's just
Well, I
some
mean,
business to me. But
one thing is that you are like a mentor to so many people around the world because not only are you an
Mhm.
author, you're a personality, and also you're an
Sounds weird.
author, a genius, and you have so much to offer like the world. So I feel like people can benefit just hearing like the ebbs and flows. Like you probably had to learn a whole different kind of like just getting into like a comfortable like niche.
Yeah, it took me a long time. I mean, a lot of that I learned by being on Twitter and just discovering what did work and what didn't work.
Twitter, really?
Old Twitter, old Twitter. I'm talking about old Twitter before it became X.
Yeah. So what did old Twitter teach you?
Old Twitter taught me how much of yourself to give and how much to withhold. You know, because you also have that element of like, I've read about
Mystique.
this. A what?
Mystique.
Mystique. Well, yeah, there's mystique that you want to that you want to keep, but there's also like, what do they need to know? What do I want them to know? What is helpful for them to
Oh.
know, and what is not? Like, they don't need to know I ate a sandwich.
Okay, so by the way, what would be red flags for people that are like starting out?
If you're starting out, make sure you don't give away your home address, your phone number, or anything where people can find you physically. Because I would not be surprised if there are people who would love it if they could find me physically, but they cannot. Please don't.
And then also, what else would you say for because you have to do like the community guidelines or whatnot?
Right.
So,
Follow the community guidelines. It's a really a good idea, especially with YouTube, to brief yourself on the community guidelines of like what they will, what they are
okay, so
okay
actually,
with,
I
and
can
what they're
I can
not.
actually tap in on this. So I
Oh yeah.
got flagged 3 times, for community guidelines that I was child trafficking and that I was like to exporting a minor. It was all photographs
What?
of me that I had recently done.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, I was like, okay, I'm well over 30. What the heck is this about? And
Seriously.
I'm just like, this is actually ridiculous. And I would never be
That's,
involved in anything like that. I'm like, why am I
oh
getting
my
flagged?
gosh, that's
And
awful. Yeah.
I mean, no, it was horrible. That's why I was like, I have to hire an attorney. But then they finally like backed down because I was like, okay, I'm showing you that this is a photo shoot. This is a that. But
Yeah,
I,
sometimes when you
oh,
lawyer up, people calm down.
oh, even beyond lawyering up too, like I don't feel comfortable with giving them my ID card and my passport online.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd be very, very careful about any official documentation. I know, like, to be verified on Meta, you have to show them your ID. And so for something like that, I would, but not like something like this where we're just telling
Okay, so
stories
for
and
instance,
talking.
have you ever had an instance where like you had a phone call and or a message that seemed a little bit creepy, but you didn't know how to vet it or not?
Oh, I get those all the time. I get people that still think I run a business and want to give me business loans. I get people that want to give me loans, not give, take, because if you can't pay the loan back,
Mm-hmm.
and I know
Oh,
who these
you
people
might want to
are.
explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, it's like
okay,
a
so by the way,
very long time ago, I ran a
if
small
you get
press firm.
someone that says that they want to invest in your company and give you a one-time loan, there's
Yeah,
generally going to be interest.
the thing about loans is that there's interest, and the interest can get really out of hand. I saw this happen with my student loans before they were excused, and it's like that can get so out of hand. I mean, there's people that have been paying their student loans for years and still haven't paid them off, even though they've paid way more than the initial loan amount was. It's awful. It's brutal. I mean,
I
I
mean,
understand this
we're
all
reforming
the
our
time.
economy right now. Like, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to every day for who knows how long. It could
I
be
hear
like,
it's going through massive changes right now, and I'm kind of concerned.
well, I'm gonna.
This
That's gonna
wasn't
be
the
our next.
future I wanted,
That's
but
going to be our next episode because I've got
yeah,
immense
we should say
concern.
that for the next episode.
But what I wanted to
Yeah,
say
because we're
is
getting
like,
40
okay, so
minutes.
you've gone through so much online, like launching yourself. So
Mhm.
what were like some of the telltale signs that was like this I should not click on?
Um, I mean, basically, I screen all my phone calls. I maybe even
Oh,
shouldn't be admitting this,
that's by the way, a lot of
but
people
it's
don't
it's
do
it's
that.
really important if you're going to be in the public eye at all. Is like screen your calls. Don't take calls from and it's just a good idea in general because there's so many scammers out there, and some of them use really threatening tactics. They will threaten you with. I had someone pretending to be a policeman a long time ago, and that was what started me screening my calls. I was like, I guess
I
this
mean,
town isn't as
they
safe
can
as they
pretend it to
say.
be from any company. I was on with the phone with Verizon for like half my morning, and I
Mm.
mean, I only got my like piece through for the first majority, and I realized that I was talking to like literally not someone from Verizon. So
Oh
my
no!
mother and I were on someone who's like an actual like spam call because we call that
Oh
they're like
no!
he did,
Yeah, that's
and
rough because there are so many scammers and they are so convincing. And I found it's best just
but
to
I
not
mean it can happen to
engage
any
directly.
company. It's not like you can blame the company. It's just like we're at a day and age that basically IT rules the world.
Yeah, it does. It does. At this point, yes.
Okay, so how would you feel about if they stopped removing your face and they started using an AI face of you?
Um, I wouldn't really care, honestly, because I'm not that invested in my face becoming famous. I don't want to be
That's
remembered for my
no,
mind.
you love putting on your makeup and doing
I
all
do
that.
love putting on my makeup and all of that, but I mean, I wouldn't really care, but I wouldn't be the person that initiated that. That would have to be something that like someone
Well, I mean,
else
there's like
put on
seven
there. And
different
I don't
countries that.
personally work for anyone, so I don't know who would.
Well, no, there's seven different countries. For instance, they no longer have newscasters. They just have AI.
Oh, that's fascinating. Whoa, I didn't know that. I mean, I've looked at AI renderings of myself, and I mean, I look nice.
I mean,
Everything's all cleared up,
I
but
never know
like,
how to find like what my eye shape is. I'm like, okay, so
I'm not that into
okay,
that
let me
stuff.
see your face. So we're gonna give somebody an
Okay.
example of how I would do your AI. Okay, you have to come over to me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so your eyes are a lower almond shape. And then, I mean,
Okay.
you've got a perfect little button nose. I don't even know if AI has that button nose. And
Thanks.
then you would have to do the larger lips, but with the little
Mhm.
crevice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then your cheekbones are quite high, so you have to do the blush that's up high.
Yeah, I do. I'm wearing
Okay, the reason I'm saying this to all y'all, so you actually understand this, is because sometimes you might not want to represent yourself as yourself. You
Oh,
might want to
that's
go out there as somebody
true.
else. It's the safer version for a lot, especially when you're introducing yourself. Like
That's
Andrea
very
has
true.
years, decades on us
Thanks.
about like doing like not even only writing books, like being public about her life.
Yeah, I
She,
wrote zines that were short stories and plays and poetry in my teens, and I was like sending them to people, and I get letters from all sorts of people, and like
I mean,
that
she had
was
you had
that
some
was kind of
cogliones
bad.
on you, her, but like it doesn't work the same way now. But the way that she worked it back then, that's how she got established.
Yeah, yeah. So
And that's why I think that she's kind of fearless in every aptitude, but we're not asking every single person to go out there and be fearless. We
no,
want,
it's hard to, and I'm not fearless. I mean, it's a lot of things I'm scared of. I just don't feel like revealing them on,
oh my gosh,
this
by the way,
program.
did I
But
tell you what happened today just for a laugh in between?
go for it.
And a
What was your first?
bird, no, a bird blew through my window. I did not know that I was afraid of birds in that aptitude. I actually jumped off my couch straight up, like
Wow, yeah.
vertical.
Birds inside, rough.
I got
Those
it
are,
outside.
yeah. Good,
But yeah,
good.
so anyways, so we all have fears. And also, if there are things that you need education on, like we can possibly have Andrea and I like come together with like a 10-point thing that we can post along with this that is like what to look out for and what to do if you want like the best for yourself. But you want to make sure first and foremost online you can always be taken advantage of by a bot or something like that. But at the
So
same
protect
time,
yourself.
that doesn't mean it should take down your confidence. That doesn't mean
No.
that.
If you get taken advantage of by a scam, don't let that crush you. Tell yourself, well, it happens to everyone, and just keep going. And on that note, we've been off 45 minutes, so I think we should close. So thank you for listening to
Okay, so
Worship Direction Mix.
what's the last thing that you would like to tell all your audience members?
I guess thank you for watching, and thank you for contacting Alicia with your kind messages.
And by the way,
And
we can't fix the world.
we can't fix the world. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't. And so we're just two people struggling through it. So good luck to you and goodbye. Oh, I thought I pressed. I'm trying to turn it up. Undo that. Press stop. Okay. Oh, thanks. Wait, let me just make sure we're not recording anymore. Oops. Okay, your side is okay, I think oh here we are. Oh, it's still recording. Okay. Let me figure this out. Yeah, I can edit that portion. I can okay, leave room. Where's the stop button? Stop, stop, stop. Oh my God. Here, let me fiddle with my phone, and maybe if I close the app. Um oh, are we still recording? No, no, we've gotta. Hmm. Hmm.